Great speakers all day at CPAC, great people that you get to talk to, like Lila Rose from Live Action. She is a pro-life leader, a pro-life star here, and it's great to see you again. Look, I got into debates this week. We posted a video I did with the guys from We Need a Law and their campaign for parental consent. And to listen to the people that support so-called choice, they only support one choice. And they also will argue till they're blue in the face that there's no problems with abortion ever. There's never any complications. You were just telling me that there's another case of a woman being rushed to hospital.
Yes, yeah, well, just this week, yesterday, not far from here, one of the most infamous late-term abortionists of the country, Leroy Carhart, who has a documentary film. He was on the Sundance red carpet, you know, parading himself, but he just sent another woman to the hospital, and we don't know the extent of her injuries or what happened. He killed a woman last year. We've documented him undercover, and he's just horrific in the practices of what he does. Late-term abortions of, you know, our littlest ones, describing how he does them, tearing them apart, limb from torso. I mean, this guy.
That's likely where because a lot of them that happen in Canada, just about 5,000 or more a year, they're flown down to the U.S. because our doctors will not do them.
Yes, and we've built this. Our abortionists in the U.S. have built this little team. Some of them that do the late term, and they're glamorizing it. And our laws in some of these states, all through 9 months, in D.C., through all 9 months, you can do abortions. We investigated Cesare Santangelo, an abortionist, doing abortions through all 9 months here in D.C., and we went undercover, and our investigator was 24 weeks pregnant. She said, what would happen if my baby survived the late-term abortion? Because sadly, Brian, this happens. And what the Santangelo responded, the abortionist, he said, I would allow it, I would not resuscitate, I would finish the job, I would let it die. This child, I mean, commit infanticide in his clinic, and he's saying this on tape. This is the extent of what's happening in the U.S. because we have abortion through all 9 months.
And so you said this doctor sent a woman to the hospital. Part of the big fight in Texas last year was over conditions for abortion clinics operating. And it wasn't shutting them down. It was saying, if you're going to be there, there have to be conditions, including that the doctors have admitting privileges at a hospital in case something happens.
Exactly.
And the opponent said, oh, no, don't worry, nothing bad ever happens.
There's no inconsistency in there's no consistency in the pro-abortion position. Because on one hand, they're saying we need abortion to be legal to make it safe. But then every regulation to make clinics safe, they'll fight against tooth and nail. At the state legislature, at the national level, they'll reject every single proposal. They want abortionists to be able to operate even if they don't have a license, if they're nurses, do it without any signed consent. They want to strip away every regulation, because at the end of the day, the pro-abortion agenda is about one thing. It's about forcing abortion on this country anytime, anywhere, for any reason, even tax-funded. Groups like NARAL, Planned Parenthood, you name it.
Very sad. And we went through the same thing in Canada, in Quebec. The Quebec government, which doesn't have any pro-life members in it at all that I know of, tried to say you've got to bring about safer conditions. You have to have the same conditions as hospitals. And there was a revolt.
Basic knowledge.
You have to be clean. You have to be sanitary.
Basic. And this is to protect women. And women are entered into the dialogue saying women need to be empowered. That's why we even need abortion. Women need that option. But that also is a myth. So there's a safety issue where abortion is not safe. Women are being killed by abortion, legal abortion in the U.S., in Canada. But then separate from that is this idea of abortion being empowering. Does a woman walk into an abortion clinic feeling powerful?
No, because there's one around the corner from my office, and I see them going in.
And they're crying or on the arm of a boyfriend or an abusive father or whatever, and they're being dragged there.
They don't look happy going in. They don't look happy coming out, and it's heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, and that is one of the biggest lies today, that somehow abortion has empowered women. It hasn't empowered us, it's set us back. It's enabled bosses who wouldn't promote us, boyfriends who wanted to leave us, university professors who wouldn't pass us because we're pregnant and we have to do extra things on the side to get through the grade, whatever it might be. That's who it's empowered. People that are hurting women and not letting them advance in the way that they want to.
All right, I know this is one of those myths that we have to talk about constantly because it won't die, but the only people opposed to abortion are old, angry white men, which you obviously are.
I'm obviously old, angry, and I am Italian, so you can kind of say I'm white. Yeah, the white's debatable, but...
So your experience in the pro-life movement, you go out and you speak across North America on this issue. Who do you meet? What do you see?
See, Brian, it's all false narratives that are coming from the pro-abortion movement. Abortion is somehow safe when it's legal. women are somehow empowered by abortion. And abortion is only opposed by the old, white men or whatever. No, increasingly in the U.S., the polling indicates that people are pro-life in every demographic, especially the demographic of young people. We're talking about men and women in their 20s who are recognizing life in the womb. Science and reason tells us this is a human life. This is a human being. And we care about social justice. My generation, millennials, care about human rights. So when we recognize this incredible violence that's being waged against children when they're the weakest and the most defenseless in the womb, and when we reject the false narratives about somehow abortion as empowerment, violence, killing as empowerment, then we are a pro-life generation. And that's what's happening in the U.S. And the more we get the education out there, the more we open the window to the womb, the more we talk past the false narrative rhetoric that's set up, we can convince more people. That's what's happening.
My experience in dealing with my own children, with other children in my life, children are naturally, innately pro-life. They're horrified by the idea.
Absolutely.
Do you think that as you just let people know what this is all about, that they will change their mind or at least struggle in some way with what they were supporting?
Exactly. I think children know it best. They have the natural response to finding out about abortion by saying, is that real? Is that really happening? Why would anybody kill a baby? I mean, they recognize it as a baby. Mom's pregnant with a baby. And they recognize it as something terrible that you would take away that life. So children can teach us a lot. And I think when you just, again, cut past the lies, the myth of safe abortion, the myth of abortion empowerment, all the mythology that the pro-abortion, which is, by the way, making millions, hundreds of millions off of the devastation of women, the killing, the broken bodies of children. When you cut past that, you have a pro-life America. You have a pro-life world.
Got to ask you one last question, and that is this. The other myth is that we only care about a baby being born. We don't care about the rest. And so, let the children die unwanted and unfed.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think that if you want to talk about empowering, you look at all of and caring about the child after the child's been born, caring about women. Look at the pro-life movement in America. Look at the work of the pregnancy care centers all over the country who are helping women have their babies.
Yeah.
Look at the way that they're trying to help them come up with real-world solutions to deal with life as a single mother. I mean, that's the people that should be getting tax dollars. Those are the groups that should be getting our support. Instead, it's going to abortion chain Planned Parenthood.
All right, Lila, the band's playing us off the stage. We'll let you go. Thanks so much.